Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 9 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great weekend, safe weekend. Let's make it a great week. Want to wish all the veterans and their family a happy Veterans Day. No doubt, of course, we can celebrate it each and every day. I also want to thank my hosts that basically helped me out Thursday and Friday. We're talking Ken, Daryl, Steve, and Dave White. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Don't make assumptions. Learn to ask questions. It is always better to ask questions than to make an assumption. Have the courage to ask questions until you're as clear as you can be. Once you hear the answer to the question, you won't have to make the assumption. Why? Because you'll know the truth. The bottom line, folks, is that get rid of the gray in your life. Keep it black and white. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow Industrials flat. NASDAQ was flat. S&Ps are up 2. Gold contract down $3, trading at $1,727 an ounce. Silver off 21 cents at $32.37 an ounce. Platinum up $9 at $1,564 an ounce. Copper up 2 pennies at $3.46 a pound. Light sweet crude flat at $85.57. Bonds up 5 ticks at $151.25. Bonds, folks, wide price strength last week on a ABC structure on a weekly. This baby wants to run to 160. So let me tell you something. For the market, that's some big problems. King dollar up 12 ticks, trading out at 81.11. Euros at 127. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do we have? Okay. We start off by going right into last Wednesday. This is what you have. Wednesday, you took the B point out of an ABC structure on the way down, did it with volume, finished that ABC. So what you have now, folks, is this. We have 2 separate ABC structures that came off the highs, completed their structures. Bottom line, the S&P, the NASDAQ, did them almost to the penny. The Dow extended itself 100, meaning it did a 1 to 1.3 ABC structure down. The small cap extended itself by 5 points, but 5 points is quite a bit when you're talking this index that's only $805. Okay, so what are you looking for at this particular point? Okay, so what we have is this. You're at 1381.37. The 1381.37 was generated on Friday at the lows. What you're going to expect? You're going to expect another B to C of an ABC structure on the way down. Why am I saying that? Well, what you have, folks, is that now you have a 100-point A to B structure on the weekly basis. 2 separate ABC structures, now you get a larger one. Larger one, where you can expect it to bounce, 1403 is easy for it to bounce to. Volume-wise out here today, this is as wild as it gets, okay? So picture something. We get a flat market. We take a look at the S&P. We did $241 million on the S&P. If I take a look at the SPY, the SPY, what you'll see is this. The energy's dead. Even though, yes, it's Veterans Day, all of the above, no doubt about it, small day in the marketplace, meaning volume-wise. What you've done is that the selling is exhausted at this particular point. That's all it means, okay? The SPY, we did 95 million shares. Last Wednesday, you did a 264 million. Now, let's put this on a weekly so you can see what I'm talking about. On a weekly, what you have is this. The weekly came down big time, 852 million shares, breaking the swing point of 718. Well, that's the first part. Now, the second part gets kind of more interesting, and this is what it is. The low that we got into was 137.58 on the S&P. Well, the high of another high volume bar, which is going to have to build some cars now to get through, is 135.61. What that sets up, number one, is that you'll set up a bounce. That bounce can, get you into a... I don't expect it's going to be a big one. The reason I don't expect it's going to be a big one is this. The ABC structure that we just finished, in fact, yeah, no, it's one that we just finished more than the one before, prior to that. The one we just finished, folks, the market couldn't bounce at all. There was just absolutely nothing in it. So you get a sideways move. It's I call it, if you get the out of time in the trade, you know, that's a 100% move sideways, and that's it. Then it lets loose, does the job. Bottom line, I expect we will get a bounce out of here. You know, big one, no. With the SPY, get to about $1.40.39. Now, that's in your S&P. We go over to the Dow Industrials. We take a look at the Dow. What we have in the Dow Industrials is this. Dow come off the high. The high, we're talking about two separate ABC structures on the way down. That was 13,653. You do the structures, Dow can bounce up into about 13,039, which was not a bad bounce, a couple $100. NASDAQ Composite. Composite, folks, absolutely all about Apple. Now, first off, the Composite, same structure, two separate ABC structures on the way down. Now, the Composite, folks, is, you know, this is pretty amazing, actually. The Composite is just teetering right at the 2787 level, getting back inside the May 6th level. You know, we got to 2789. And this is why it's important to understand that 2787 level. And that level, folks, goes back to May of 2011. The reason it's important to understand is this. The NASDAQ itself got over the highs of March of 2011. False break topside, closes back inside it. Comes off with volume. That sets up, number one, we want to get down and go test the lows of June of 2012. The larger issue, though, for the NASDAQ, and it's really close to it, is once it gets back inside, which all it needed is 2 more points. And I don't expect we'll see that for another couple weeks, week and a half or something, meaning down to that 2887, that puts in play the 2298 level. 2298 level is insane, folks. Not insane, but that's where it wants to go. Now, let's go over to Apple. So what you have with Apple is this. They took monster bites out of Apple, no doubt. And Apple's going a lot lower on a longer-term basis. Shorter-term basis, you'll see a bounce. What we have with Apple is this. Apple has gone straight down from $703 to $538. You know, straight move down, extended move down, all of the above. What it's also done is that your swing point in Apple is 528.66. That was generated out in May. We get to a price point of 533. We put this on a weekly, and what you're going to see is that as you got down to that level, we got down to that level with monster volume. 131 million shares versus the swing point of 101. So what does that do? It does two different things. It's telling me that, number one, we're going to be back down there and we're going to break it. That's on a longer-term basis. Shorter-term basis, monster ABC down. And what you'll see here today is that, you know, back down today, 18 million shares. You know, Apple can bounce up to like 591 to 623 and be an absolutely dead cat bounce. That's how that's set up. That's on the short-term basis, and that'll make a difference in the market. On a longer-term basis, Apple, to me, is done. You know, Apple wants to basically trade down to the 384 mark. Okay, so it's going to be a huge problem. If you're an Apple, let me tell you something. You get this bounce coming, get out of town as fast as you can. Bonds. Let's go take a look at the bond market. We have with bonds out here, and the bonds have been screaming, folks. And what the bonds are screaming is that lower yields, higher price. And what you have out here right now, we have a 30-year bond at 151.24. Huge sign of strength last Wednesday. If I put this on a continuous contract, what you're going to see is this. And this is a monster move. It's a monster ABC up, folks. The ABC up that I'm talking about can get bonds to 161, which is just unbelievable. Now, an ABC structure in itself, you know, A to B, straight line move, C to D is a straight line move. The first A to B on this, folks, was April of 2012, and we went straight from 136 up to 153. The C to D move is always a consolidation. It's a messy move. Well, you know what? That wasn't, you know, it was a consolidation. That consolidation, we've been in that consolidation since June. This is what you have. When we're taking a look at the June area, last week, huge price spread, huge volume. This little baby, the consolidation, it only did a 0.382 back. Once you break the 153.04 level, you're going to see a really fast move. And what does that mean on the other side? Well, let's go to the dollar. We can take a look at the correlation with the dollar. Dollar index wants higher price. S&P wants lower price. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. You stay right there, folks. We ended up 1. NASDAQ was flat. S&Ps are up 250. Gold down 290. Silver 32.38. Platinum 1,564. We'll be right back, folks.